Hello everyone and welcome into today's video where we are checking out a new project on my channel which is called the Fantom, and I've actually mentioned this project in the last video about the graph, which you can also see here on the homepage as a partner of Fantom, among other projects like for example Chainlink, which we've also covered on the channel already. And this project is quite interesting also from fundamentals, but also as well from the tokenomics. So we will do a short overview about this protocol, and also we will check out the price chart with some tokenomics. So without further ado, an early like is very much appreciated, so thank you for doing so, and let's get into the video. So here on the homepage we have all Fantom has to offer, which is speed, security and scalability. And the important feature is this consensus protocol, which is not the traditional one. It is using what is called a Lachesis consensus algorithm, which is faster, more scalable and more secure choice according to Fantom. And some of the features are that it's asynchronous, so they can process their commands at different times. And also one of the more important one is the finality, which means that the Lachesis output can be used immediately, so there is no need to wait for block confirmations. Therefore, transactions are confirmed within 1 or 2 seconds, which is a huge boost compared to, for example, blockchain, where you have to wait for the whole block to be completed. And down here is also a very nice explanation of other consensus mechanisms like the classical Byzantine fault tolerance, which is BFT for short, or the practical BFT, Nakamoto as well, and finally this one which is used here, which is the asynchronous BFT. So this will be definitely linked in the video description, so you can check it yourself in more detail. And one of the key features of this blockchain are these almost instant transfers, which we've covered already, which are finalized in just a couple of seconds and cost just a fraction of a cent. So very nice for scalability. Then also it is very secure because Fantom's validator nodes can form this leaderless proof of stake network, and to become a validator it is very difficult and very strict, so that's where the security comes from. We will also check this out in just a minute. And apart from the very fast finality, Fantom can process also thousands of transactions per second and scale to thousands of nodes. And finally, it's Ethereum compatible, which means it can use the Ethereum smart contracts, and also it is compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, which enables it to deploy and run your Ethereum dApps on Fantom. And from the user perspective, the most important thing is this Fantom Finance section, which hosts your Fantom wallet, and there you can do all the DeFi actions you can imagine. You can mint, trade, lend, borrow, etc. directly from your wallet with very low fees and instant transactions. You can also do this liquid staking, which we'll check out in just a second, which is a very cool feature as well. And here we can check out the staking in more detail. So your staking rewards are estimated here in this calculator and are based on the amount that you stake. So you can stake all the way from 1 FTM, which is the Fantom token, all the way to whatever you want. And the reward is also dependent on the locking period, so you can lock it all the way from 14 days to 1 year, so 365 days. Obviously 1 year gives you the highest APR, which is almost 11% now, and just 14 days will give you about 3.5%, so still pretty decent, but obviously 11% is pretty solid. And for this it's very easy. You don't have to have any mining equipment like for Bitcoin, etc. You just have to have a device connected to the internet, so your phone or PC, and you can stake your tokens straight from there. And now we are getting into this very interesting feature, which is called the liquid staking, and this actually unlocks the value of your staked FTM, which means that if you stake 1 FTM, you can simultaneously mint a synthetic FTM in 1-to-1 ratio and use it as a collateral in Fantom Finance in their all-in-one DeFi suite, which we check out at the beginning. So this is very interesting because you can still use your staked FTM, which I've not seen anywhere else yet. And also benefit of these synthetic tokens is that when you mint and repay them, you don't pay any fees, so that's very cool as well. And finally, for the security reasons, we have these requirements for running a node, so being a validator, which are essential parts. There are just a couple of them because there is quite strict requirements as a minimum of 1 million tokens in possession, and also the maximum validator size can be 15 times the self-stake amount, so maximum is 15 million in case you stake this minimum 1 million FTMs. And if you complete those requirements, you can earn those staking rewards and a 15% cut on delegator rewards as well. However, delegators are much more easy to do. And here under the FTM token we have more about tokenomics, so we've already checked out the securing the network part with the validators and delegators, etc., and the consensus mechanism. But also here with the payments, they are very fast, around 1 second, and cost just a fraction of a cent. There is also an on-chain governance in place, so this part is already a bit decentralized. And down here we have the information about the FTM supply. So the total supply is 3.175 billion FTMs, and at the moment 2.1 billion are in circulation, where the remainder is reserved for staking rewards. And taking into account the rewards will stay at the current levels, it will take more than 2 years to distribute all the rewards and reach full circulation of the total supply. And at the moment the FTM is available as a native mainnet token, also as an ERC20 token and as a BEP2 token. And you can buy it on Binance, for example, but we will check out more details on Coingecko in a second. And here under the tools we can look more into detail about the Fantom wallets, where we have the official Fantom wallet with which you can send, receive and stake your FTM, and also access the before mentioned Fantom DeFi ecosystem. But also the Fantom supports MetaMask, which is the most popular software wallet, but also more recently it now supports the Ledger Nano, which is one of the most popular hardware wallets and still the most secure way to store tokens. So this is pretty cool, this integration with the hardware wallet, similar for example as the Trezor integration with Exodus. So you have still all the functionality of Fantom, but with the benefit of this most secure way of storing your tokens. So this was the short overview, and now we can check a little bit more about the tokenomics and the price charts in a bit. So here we can see that now at the moment it is ranked as a number 102 by the market cap, which is just under 600 billion US dollars, so pretty small still. And we've already discussed this maximum supply of just under 3.2 billion units. However, the total value locked on the ecosystem on the platform is just 132 million US dollars, so this ratio of market cap to total value locked ratio is over 4, which would suggest it's a little bit overpriced at the moment. However, according to their roadmap, they are now in the phase of more adoption from retailers but also more enterprises, so we should get more of the total value locked in the ecosystem, which should lower this ratio a little bit down, considering the price will remain the same, which now actually has been declining a little bit as most of the altcoins were. However, it is still pretty high in comparison to last year this time. So let's jump into the price charts, where we can see the price in more detail. And what is very interesting is that we are now here just over this uptrending support over here, which goes all the way back to March 2020 actually. So since then the price has been ascending quite drastically. This chart looks a little bit different than just a few seconds ago on Coingecko because I have it in logarithmic scale, which means that exponential runs are more linear over here, which makes it a little bit easier to see patterns, etc., and do technical analysis. So here we can see this very significant support, as I mentioned, which is now over 1 year old, so we could say a pretty strong support. We've had just a little bit of a dip for a couple of months towards the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021. However, since then we've remained above this support. At the moment we are actually trading under these moving averages, so that's the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average in the green and red respectively. And also it seems there is some horizontal support as well for the price, so it all suggests that the price could hold up above this support and continue to climb higher. However, for that I think it's also important to check out a ratio in relation to Bitcoin, which gives us more fuller idea about the price in the crypto space. So here we can see this very defined support over here, which catched all these falls in 2021 and now remains a pretty strong support as well. So it looks like from this that it could be doing similar moves to Bitcoin. So from this we can see that this ratio has been rising all the way to October, where the Bitcoin started its bull run. So when the Bitcoin is very strong, this ratio goes down a little bit, which is usual for altcoins. And maybe we will be seeing a similar scenario here, but on a bigger scale, with some rise in price over here and now some consolidation with a breaking of this support and continuing a little bit lower for a cool-off period where the Bitcoin is much stronger. However, until then, as I mentioned, there is this quite strong support over here, and also every now and then there are these uptrending supports over here where the price gets lifted a little bit every now and again. And we are at the moment also close to one of these supports over here, so that could boost this ratio a little bit up, maybe before dropping again towards this support over here. So all in all, at the end, I think this support can hold the price until the Bitcoin will start its bull run again. Now Bitcoin is in a bit of a consolidation phase, it's going a bit sideways at the moment, so when it resumes the bull run after all those Wyckoff distributions and whatnot, I think it would be actually quite difficult for Fantom to keep on this bull run above this support. So we would maybe drop to those levels of support down over here when the Fantom gets a bit weaker because of the Bitcoin bull market resume. And this is it for today's introduction and overview of Fantom. I hope you enjoyed this one. If so, please make sure to smash the like button to help my channel out in the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you haven't already, you can subscribe, because I will be posting more crypto content in the future. And with this, I thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!